Welcome to Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat, the book club and podcast with your hosts, Sarah, Kit, and Marianne, three friends who talk about all things books, food, and travel. Okay. Welcome, readers, eaters, and travelers to Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat, the podcast and book club where books take us beyond the page. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Marianne. Today we'll be talking about The Best Dog in the World, edited by Alice Hoffman. Spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't read the book. While we will be giving initial thoughts and ideas, eventually we will be spoiling the end, or ends, I should say.
And we will let you know when we start kind of delving into the individual stories. So feel free to listen up until that point, then pause, and then you can come back once you finish the book. And I don't know if this will apply super much in this episode, but we are adult readers and we do say adult things sometimes. A little bit.
It's a quote with a swear word in it, so.
Okay. You have been warned. Cursing will occur.
Yeah. So, as a group of unapologetic dog people who know our lives basically revolve around fur, chaos, and unconditional love, this one felt a little personal, for sure. So, here's what The Best Dog in the World, Essays on Love, is all about.
14 beloved authors celebrate the life-changing bond with their canine companions in this heartwarming essay collection edited by New York Times bestselling author and lifelong dog lover Alice Hoffman.
Anyone who has ever been fortunate enough to share their life with a dog knows the experience
is an experiment.
It's an experiment. Accurate. It is both profound and transformative. Here, in this charming collection of essays, 14 celebrated authors share unforgettable tales of the dogs who left their paw prints on their hearts.
With contributions from Isabel Allende, Chris Bohalian, Bonnie Garmis, Roxane Gay, Emily Henry, Anne Leary, Tova Miras, Jodi Picoult, Elizabeth Strout, Amy Tan, Adriana Trigiani, Nick Trout, Paul Yoon, and Laura Zigman. Best Dog in the World captures the full range of canine-human connection, from the joy of welcoming a new puppy to the heartache of saying goodbye to a beloved friend.
A love letter to the loyal companions who enrich our lives and teach us about empathy, joy, and unconditional love. This anthology is the perfect gift for dog lovers everywhere, offering a blend of laughter, tears, and inspiration that will resonate with anyone who has been forever touched by the love of a dog.
They got dad jokes.
Yes.
So that's the synopsis. But what did we think about it? Marianne, you were the one that wrecked this book. So what were your thoughts?
I really like this book. I mean, one of the first stories had me sobbing in the car. And I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But then the next story had me laughing out loud. So I really enjoyed all listening to all these like acclaimed authors that we all as book girlies, like we all look up to authors. They like have this like still in our lives, but you know, they're really just like us and they love their dogs. And just to hear them like talking about how important their dogs are to them and the companionship of a dog. And, you know, I know I rely on my dog way too much for companionship. So I just was fun listening to people talk about, and I listened to the audio. So just reading about how, or listening to how dogs made people's lives fuller, even though that, you know, unfortunately time is limited. What about you, Sarah?
I put down at first it was okay, but I think it was more than okay. I liked it. I didn't love it. I definitely loved some stories more than others. They kind of like, you got to the end and I was like, yeah, I can relate. Some I wish had more about the actual lessons they learned from the dogs. Like I felt sometimes where they were like, oh, this is supposed to be a short essay. I got to stop. And then I just was like, but I want to know more about this. Like, this is really funny. I did enjoy that they chose authors that had many different breeds of dogs. They weren't all like every single one of them has a pit bull mix or every single one of them has a lab. They were every shape and size of dog, purebreds, rescues, adopted. And I liked that because not all breeds are for everybody. And I am not an ankle biter person. I cannot do those little dogs. The bigger, the better for me. But for some people, that is who they are. That's what they love the most. And so it was a little bit something for everyone. If I had like a person that I needed to gift a dog book to, I 100% would gift this, you know, just because it's cute. And I do like how it's short, kind of bite-sized essays. So I could read one a day or read a couple a day and then go on to another book. And break it
Yeah.
up a little. So, Kit,
Yeah.
what about you?
So I'm going to be the odd man out here. And this is 100% a not every book, similar to every breed. Not every book is for every person because I hated this book. I am so sorry to all the the contributing authors. This book was not for me. It's the essays are really well written. I listened to it. The audiobook was like well narrated. And to your point, every essay had like a different vibe, different dogs. I in general do not like a sad book. I don't like sad movies. I'm not here to spend my time making myself sad. And I lost my best buddy. His name was Buddy. It last September, so it has not
Yeah,
been that
super.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also was not a dog person my entire life. I was attacked by a Doberman when I was 3. I had to work my way up from a Chihuahua to a lab because I was hell bent on not being afraid of dogs.
Mhm.
But I was very, very petrified of dogs. We can talk about that later. But some were sad right from the get go. Some were hilarious right from the get go. But all of these dogs eventually die, and I'm not interested. So that
Yeah.
was kind of where I sat with this book. And then there was also some of the essays had side issues that were involved that I also don't like reading about. Like, I don't want to read about your sad COVID times. I don't want to read about your infertility. All of those
Mhm.
things are things that deeply impacted me, and I don't want to read about it. So this book, while very, very well written, not the book for me. But again, this book may hit it, and it's to your point, Sarah. If I know someone does like to read books that kind of get
Yeah.
them in their
Yeah.
feels and they're dog
Yeah.
people, I would 100% tell them to read this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not that it's a bad book.
Right.
Bad
It
book
is
for
a
you.
bad match for me.
Just not a good match. And like
It's
you said, maybe because it was too soon
too
or
soon.
you've had too many
Too many
experiences with the
experiences where I
other.
was like, well, I don't want to talk about that.
And
I don't
and
wanna
you're
read about
right
that.
in terms of
Like,
in terms of the fact that I don't think it's a spoiler to say they all die because
Right.
because dogs
the
die.
the
Yeah.
essays are more like it's people's best dog, and a lot of them they're like my best dog was the dog I had 10 years ago. So it's not always a recent death in here. It's like they're not writing essays usually about their current dog.
Well, and
They're
I
writing about the dog they used to have.
see the one thing I liked about it is the fact that it wasn't always the best dog because I'm pretty sure Jodi
Yes.
Picoult's
You're right.
Alvin was like her worst dog.
Right.
But the
Yes.
The
lesson
best
that's
story.
but the lessons that they learn from their dogs, even
Yes.
knowing
Yes.
that the dog is going to not always be there, but it's still worth it to, like I said before, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at
Yes.
all,
Yeah.
which Kit does not believe in that
I don't particularly ascribe to that either.
yeah. So, but I don't know. To me, it was just kind of like a reminder that it's still worth it to have a dog, even though you know
Mhm.
that the
Yeah.
time is limited.
Yep.
I do agree with that. Like, obviously we have dogs now, and I there's definite value in having a dog. I just
Yes.
don't like to
Think
make
about
myself sad.
I
Like,
know. I know.
well, and also I don't, and this probably there will be people that listen to this that are like, what a heartless bitch. There's your curse warning right there. Dogs die. Like, they just like growing up with farm animals, they're all gonna die. So
Well,
I
and they
don't
have
like try to
relatively
like short lifespans.
short lifespan. I mean,
Right.
even a horse, like horses can live to be 30,
Yeah. And my
twice as
paint
long
horse
as
was
most
like
dogs.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And it's sad, but it's not like like in my regular life, like I was sad for like a week and then you move on with your life.
Mhm.
So like reading about it, like I don't want to like make myself sad over other people's dogs. When like I don't spend a lot of time being sad in my own life.
right.
And to the point I made earlier, that's a conscious decision that
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thought I was dying after COVID because it like jump started a whole bunch of chronic illnesses that were just, as the shingles vaccine says, laying
Yeah.
dormant inside you, ready to attack.
Yes.
Because shingles was one of them. I thought I was dying. So I don't want to waste any of my time being sad about stuff if I don't have to. So,
Well, I have never ever been able to read or watch the movie Marley and Me.
yeah,
Mm.
I
Like
want nothing to do with it.
nope, I just can't. Yes,
Yeah.
there are certain things and I think it came out probably at a time when I had a dog that died
Mm-hmm.
and it just was too, I don't know. I don't want to go through all that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I go through it in real life. I don't want to watch it.
Right.
happen. So the
Yeah,
essays for me, a short essay, good. A 2-hour movie, no,
bad.
can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. Plot points.
Okay.
This was a hard one when I was trying to come up with a list of
Yeah,
plot
I
points
love the
because
list
with
of
the essays,
they're all
they're
different.
all different plot points.
Yeah.
So many there. So
Yeah.
I tried to like come up with some of the more overarching themes,
Mhm.
starting with why are dogs the best? Why? Because we've all had dogs, and I think everyone loves to talk about their own dogs. So I started with dogs, our dogs, other people's
In a
dogs. Why are
in a
dogs the best?
in a weird way too, I almost like I'm putting my best dogs and it's like all of them. In a weird
Yeah.
way, they all were my best dog for some reason. Equally upset when 2 out of the 3 have died because 1 is sitting right
Yeah.
behind me still. She's in
She's like,
this
hey.
you probably can't see her. She's in that chair. She's like
She's
Also,
like
does
your coworker back there. Bitch. Oh, stop. Look at her
she's
face.
like
She's like, what's up? I'm just trying to
I know.
sleep. Get me off the
She's like
camera.
sitting in here with me, co-piloting, but
Yeah.
if she sees a rabbit, she will lose her shit. So we'll see.
Yeah. Gus is getting better about not climbing all over me. But if I'm talking, he's like, I should be
He's
part
like,
of this conversation.
yeah.
Let me in there.
You could write an essay about him. Like
Dude,
I feel like would fit right
he's a pain
into
in the ass.
with these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he's
Excellent.
my 4th dog.
Mhm.
But I did have to work my way up because I was attacked when I was 3 by a Doberman. And I was in my stroller, so I couldn't get away.
Oh yeah. So
And
you're like,
then, yeah, so I was like locked
you
in.
feel
and
trapped and you're
trapped. Yeah. So, and I don't remember it. Like, I've only been told about it, like how bad it was.
Mhm.
But I was so afraid of dogs after that even like the jingling of a keychain would like
Would make
send
you
me in a complete panic attack. Like, I had to be carried in and out of houses if there were dogs outside. Like, it was bad. And then my parents thought they could fix it by buying me an ankle biter when I was a kid named Princess.
I would say you got a
We
chihuahua
gave
of all
Princess back.
things.
I did get a chihuahua eventually. Princess was not a chihuahua. Princess was
Oh.
like a little white fluffy thing.
Uh-huh.
But they gave her back. Like, it was, I wouldn't get out of my bed. Like, the panic attacks were so,
Oh.
I don't think they gave her back. I think like a family friend took her.
Rehomed her or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But I was so scared of her, I couldn't get out of bed. But when I was 17, I was like, I have to get over this fucking fear. So chihuahuas are super mean, but they're really small. So
But they
I felt
also
like I
can
could
be-
win.
Yeah.
Like
they also can be
I could
cute.
win this fight against. I could definitely take a chihuahua.
Yeah.
And then we got a miniature schnauzer, and then we got Buddy, who was supposed to be small, and he ended up being 110 pounds. And now we have Gus, who is something all on his own. But I had to like work my way up to like a proper dog. I had to start with one that I thought I could win a fight
You
against.
could win a fight. Yeah. I had on here. So when I, because I originally went to school to be a vet, I also worked at the Humane
yeah.
Society for like 3 summers. Not a fun job. And I adopted Gabby when I was a sophomore in college. And so she lived with my parents because I lived in a dorm. I couldn't have a dog, but she was the cutest little puppy. She was a Shar-Pei.
Mm.
So my first was a Shar-Pei. She was dropped off at the Humane Society, so they
Aw.
say. And she was probably 5 weeks old. The vet
Aw.
determined she probably was too young to be away.
Yeah.
We think, because there's a couple Shar-Pei breeders in this area, we think that she did not have enough wrinkles, like she didn't hit the breed standard. So they dumped
So they
her.
just ditched her.
And they kind of claim, oh, I found this puppy on the median in the highway.
Yeah.
This puppy was
Right.
super
You did
small.
not
God.
see this.
You did
puppy.
not find her driving on the
Right.
highway. And I was obsessed with this when I was younger. So I looked up everything you need to show a Shar-Pei. She had the correct coat color. She
Mhm.
had the square ears. She had like wrinkles is not one of the things Shar-Peis need to be shown.
Yeah.
She had her rear dew claws removed, which you don't do unless
Yeah.
you're a breeder because you
Unless-
don't
yeah.
know how to do it. It's like declawing a cat. You have to do it when
Yeah.
they're really little. So when I got married, she was probably 3 years old, and my husband asked my dad for my hand in marriage. My dad's answer to him literally was, yes, if you take the dog and horse with you. I was like, I wasn't planning on leaving her here for you, but
That's mine. I did leave my chihuahua home with my parents when I went to college
Yeah.
because obviously he couldn't come with. So
Yeah.
then, they wouldn't give her back though. Like when I graduated, they were like, "No,
yeah.
that's our dog."
Well,
now. I
and
was
we
like,
learned
"Fine, I'll
Shar-Peis
get a
are
different one."
very intelligent and very
Mhm.
manipulative. And my dad would be so mad. He'd be like, "I let your damn dog out 4 times today." And I go, "Why? Did she have to go to the bathroom every time?" "Well, every time she goes to the door and she just starts whining." And I go, "And did you let her out every time she whined?" "Well, yeah." And I
Did
go,
it
"That's
work?
why.
Yeah.
You have sucker written across your forehead." Because she learned if she saw a squirrel, all she had to do was whine and he would let her out.
Right.
Where I would sit there and I'd be like, "Gabby, go lay down." And she'd go lay down. Like she
Right.
knew. So very manipulative, loved Cheez Its. She would see the red Cheez It box
She
from
was
my
like,
dad again and
"Mine."
just sit there and beg and all these weird things. She was
Yep.
a very quirky dog. But
Who's up next?
You?
you, are you going to
What
Oh,
add
about
your,
your dogs?
yeah.
I mean, I grew up with dogs since I was 2 years old. We had boxers when I was little. It was really sad. We were on vacation and one of our dogs died in the kennel.
Oh,
Mm.
So I think that's why I get nervous leaving my dog in the kennel
hmm.
now.
Yep.
Then we had a basset hound. And I got a friend of mine gave me a puppy when I was in college because he didn't like the place I was living. It was pretty sketchy. Her name was Kashmir because the Led Zeppelin song was playing on the radio when I got her. And when I was going home for Christmas, and the flea situation here in Florida used to be
Mm.
horrible. Now with
Mhm.
flea meds, it's not a problem, but back then it was a problem. And we moved here from Maryland when I was in high school, and we didn't really have to deal with the flea situation up there so bad because the cold weather would kill them off. And here in Florida, they grow all year round.
Yeah.
So my parents had like basically finally gotten rid of the fleas from our previous dog, and I got this puppy,
Oh, no.
and
You're like, "Surprise!"
they were like, "That's fine, but you're not bringing her back to our
Mhm.
house." I was like, "Okay,
Mhm.
fine. Then I guess I'm not coming home for Christmas."
Mhm.
And they were like, "Okay, fine. You can bring the dog." And next thing you know, my mother was saving scraps for her in the
Mhm.
freezer to the point where for the rest of that dog's life, she looked through her food for scraps because she got
Mhm.
so spoiled by my mother. But we had to put her down when she was starting to when Caitlin was a baby, she was starting to become incontinent. And then she snapped at Caitlin one time. And unfortunately, between the two, it was like, okay, it's time.
Mhm.
Caitlin was only like 2 years old at the time. I also had a really dumb golden retriever at the time who called the Kevy monster, and it was Kevy. And she was not bright, not bright at all, but very inbred, backyard breeder
Yeah, yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing. But I'd always wanted a golden retriever. Then we got Kahlua, aka SFD, stupid fucking dog.
Mhm.
Because Kahlua got
Did you have
in
Kahlua when we met? Because I feel like we used
I
to
feel
probably,
like I
always
yes.
remember
talk.
that too.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just remember SFD, like talking
Yeah.
about your
Yes.
and through the acronym.
Yes. Because we had him until I know Caitlin was in high school and she
Mm.
graduated
Okay,
in
then yeah.
2011. And he got into the trash every day of his life, and nothing dissuaded him. Not bitter apple spray, not cayenne pepper, nothing stopped him from getting in the trash. But then we ended up putting him down around Christmas time, I think it was. Actually, no, I take that back. It was during the summer. I had come home and he was getting to where he was like losing control of various functions. And Caitlin was actually setting an alarm. He was her dog, and she was setting an alarm during the middle of the night to take him out so he didn't have
Aw.
accidents in the
Oh,
house.
yeah.
Because she was afraid that if he did, that I was going to put him down sooner. But then after he was gone, I didn't realize how much I was going to miss him. I mean, for 13 years, this dog drove me crazy.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then at that time, like, the girls were in, like, either I think Kelsey might have been 8th grade and Caitlin was a senior in high school, and they were gone a lot between, like, dance and activities and stuff and things with their friends, and I was home alone without a dog, and I didn't realize how much I talked to that damn dog every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The house was so empty, even if it was just yelling at him. The house was so empty without a dog, and so we got cats instead because 'cause they're like, "Okay, cats are
Mhm.
easier.
Mhm.
You don't have to, like, get a kennel for them if you're going away for the weekend," but cats are not dogs. And
Agreed.
then we Kelsey and I went to the animal control to look. in August
To look.
of to look. I think it was August of 2012, I think it was. And that's when we found Walter, the best dead dog ever. Kashmir used to be the best dead dog ever, but Walter was definitely far superior to Kashmir. And he was on sale for $5, and Kelsey is still offended that he was on sale. But he was a pit mix, and they were trying to get rid of all their pit
Yeah.
mixes. And he was so good. He was such a good dog. He never pottied in the house. He didn't bark. He was so good, so smart. But then he ended up getting cancer, and we put him down in December of 2021. And then I went to Humane Society in January of 2022 to just look. And that's when the demon came home with me, aka Oswald. And he is the worst dog ever, quite honestly. I mean, he is so bad. He gets in the trash. He makes Kahlua look like a good dog.
Right.
He loves Amazon boxes. He also knows how to open doors. We literally had to change a door handle because we had one that had, like, the flippy handle,
Mm-hmm.
and we
We
had
had
to
to do that
change
too.
it because he can open that. I mean, if you ask him, if he's looking for something, he knows, like, the difference between where the ICECREAM is
Yeah, don't say it.
and the COOKIES. Like, he knows where they are, and he'll walk you right to the cabinet to where they're at,
Uh-huh.
so, he's very smart, but also quite evil. Hates this dog down the street. Scared the shit out of a Amazon delivery driver today when we were sitting out front. He's so bad, but he's my best friend, and I don't know what I'd do without him. So, anyhow, how about you, Kit?
I've only had the 4 dogs, so we did have a lot of barn dogs, though, was my other, like, they belong out in the farm. We had Kona Bud,
Yeah.
Mutsy, so many. The dogs that, like, killed all the chickens, lots of farm dogs.
The fun ones.
But I think what you were talking about, Marianne, is, like, a good transition to the next topic, which is joy versus loss. And I think it was you that
Yeah.
said it earlier, Marianne, that, it's the knowing you're gonna lose them is, like, it's still worth having them. I forget, you
Absolutely.
said it so much more eloquently than I
Yeah.
just did, but I can't remember how you said
I don't
it.
remember
No, it's
either.
I don't
worth
remember
it.
either.
It's
It's in
worth
there.
it too.
It's in there somewhere. Anyone listening, you recall how Marianne said it, like,
Yeah.
5 minutes ago, and I've already bungled it.
I
But
know.
I
I
do
put
think it's,
I
like,
put like
worthwhile.
because I've really had 3 dogs in my adult life. I really didn't talk
Mhm.
about Alice, who was
Oh, I
our whole
remember when you had
family.
Alice
Yeah.
when we were
She's named
Twilight moms.
after Twilight.
Yeah.
Yes.
She looks just like Stella. She's a brindle pit bull mix, but both Gabby and Gabby was older, like 12, but
Mhm.
both of them died suddenly. Not like
Yeah.
Oh.
hit by a car, like just got
Yes.
sick
Oh.
and were gone. I think that was the hardest. Especially Gabby, I'd raised her since she was a puppy. She was the dog I had before I was married. Moving
Mhm.
out, she was then became Paul's and my dog. I had Kara. She died when Kara was 2.5. So
Mhm.
she was like bridging that part of your life, which I think
Mhm.
dogs can do too. And she just woke up one day and was really lethargic. And she
Mm.
wouldn't get off the bed to go eat or go outside or anything. She'd been running around the night before. And I left her there. I went to the gym. I remember thinking, I'm going to go to the gym and come back and see what her status is. And
Yeah.
she peed on the bed and didn't even get up. And
Oh.
I was like, oh, I go, we got to take her to the vet. And of course, it's Sunday.
Of
Mm.
course.
Of course.
Animals don't get sick during
Right.
normal vet
No.
hours. And we didn't have a close emergency vet here. So I'm calling around and calling around. And we pick her up and basically lay her in the kitchen. And her breathing is labored. I mean, it's like,
Mm.
and we called the vet and they're like, yep, bring her in. We'll see what we can do. And I looked at Paul and I said, I think we should just wait. She's not going to make it in the car. And I think she
Yeah.
died 10 minutes later. Like
Yeah.
in the night before, she'd been fine and now she's gone. Like it was just, and then Alice was the same. And Alice was only like 9.
Mhm.
I let her out. She'd been kind of lethargic, but pits can be
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that. They're full of energy and then they do
And
nothing.
then they're done. Yeah.
And she peed and it was not the right color. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So again, taking her to the animal hospital, like she just seemed off. We brought her in there and they pulled labs. And I'm like texting my friend who's a small animal vet across the state, telling her the numbers. And she's
Yeah.
like, that is not good. Like her
Mm.
white blood cell count was low. And they basically were like, we have to give her a blood transfusion to even figure out what's wrong with her. Like we have to stabilize her. And we were kind of like, I remember calling my parents going, can you bring the girls here? Because
Yeah.
this routine vet just turned into we need to put her down.
Yeah.
So I think the sudden was like, and they weren't old,
Right.
like, which was the hardest. So in terms of the loss, like I still wouldn't change it. Part of me was kind of glad I was there with them
Yeah.
as opposed to the dog I had when we were a kid. My dad took her to put her down because
Mm.
that's what dads did. And us
Yeah.
kids didn't know about it. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
How can you do this? So it's like they brought all this joy and everything. And then, but it's also worth it to be there in the end, I guess.
Well, we're kind of bringing ourselves down here.
I know.
We are.
Let me tell
Which
you.
was my whole problem with this book is that
I mean,
even
well-
you're talking about these amazing dogs,
Here's the
agreed,
thing.
but then they die.
For me, but going back into the joy thing, I think we're
Yeah.
going to get a puppy. We're ready for another puppy.
Yay.
So I'm like,
Yay.
in my brain, I'm sad, but I'm also like, oh, it's
Yeah.
a puppy.
Yeah, well, we have
to do it in the summer as soon as school is
Yes.
out, literally like that week, because I
That was
need
our
the 3
plan,
months
too.
to like get situated, and I'm not traveling anywhere internationally this summer, so
this
I'm
summer.
home.
So this is a good summer to do
Yeah.
it.
Yes, so I'm
That
like, we're gonna we'll
backfired.
do it right away in June or whatever, the first
Yeah.
week, and then
That
Yeah.
backfired spectacularly
I
on
know.
us because that was our plan with Gus. Because Buddy was 11, and he was like slowing down, and we're like, well, let's get another dog. And Morgan really wanted a dog that was just hers because Buddy was like my
Mario
buddy.
dog, yeah.
Yeah. He was like my co-pilot. He always ride shotgun in the car. So she picked out Gus, and Gus was 1 when we got him because he's just about 2. He'll be 2 in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we'll have the whole summer to get him acclimated. It'll be great. And then Home Slice is the most accident-prone dog
Mhm.
on
That's
the
the thing
fucking
that
planet.
does scare me. I'm like, do I really want to go into this?
This dude cost us, I mean, I love Gus. No, sorry, dude, but he cost us so much money. And he's a rescue, so he's a res dog through a group here, Soul Dog Rescue.
Yeah.
And so he spent some time outside for several months. He was adopted out and returned 3 times before we got him. Assumingly not for medical reasons, but because he likes to nip at heels.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept getting adopted out to families that had little children.
Mm.
And that's scary when you have a dog that
Right.
chases
Yeah.
you
Oh,
around
yeah.
and tries to bite your ankles. So we were like, we're big, that's fine. But then he injured his hip. He has hip dysplasia.
Mm-hmm.
And we took him to the vet and discovered that happy-go-lucky dog wants to murder a fucking vet. Like to the point where our vet was like, you have to take him to a different vet.
Yeah.
He's so bad that our vet was like, you should try a vet that comes to your house. Because he has to wear the muzzle. He literally, Ryan had to lay on top of him and hold him still to get vet checked. He's horrific. And so we were paying extra money, and then they were like, we're going to give him surgery. I was like, the fuck you are. I don't think so. And do you remember Amy from Princess Posse, who has the Huskies? I posted on Facebook and was like, what are my alternatives for hip dysplasia? And she's like, here's what you need to do. Because her dogs had it. So she gave me lots of
she gets
practical
purebreds,
advice. So this dog is on more supplements than any dog should be. But I think we're going to knock on wood somewhere in this room.
Mm-hmm.
We have him baseline. So we haven't had to go to the vet in a while.
Quick,
But
I'll knock for you
I know,
too.
everybody knock on wood. But
No,
sometimes he tripods it around. His left leg is like, no thanks, I don't want to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone with anxiety, me, this is the worst dog
you're
in the world.
freaking out about,
Because every time he even limps a little bit, I was like, no, what are you doing? Put your leg down. You're fine.
Yeah. Right.
What are you doing? Put your foot on the ground. Why are you doing that? Put your foot on the ground. He also has something called reverse sneezing. Have any of you ever seen reverse
Stella
sneezing?
does that too. Stella does
terrifying.
it too. It is
I thought
terrifying.
he was having seizures.
Yep. It's what it looks like.
So you
they
sneeze, but the air goes inwards.
I think Oswald does that sometimes.
And
It's like a snort kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And when it starts, it looks like hiccups. So I think he's hiccuping, and then he'll do it for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
So then I had to take videos and send it to, we have a new vet now. They're great. Our old vet was also great. They were phenomenal with Buddy. When Buddy had to get put down, they gave him all the drugs in the world so he could have one last good day. And we took him on a car ride into the lake and to get ice cream.
Give him a hamburger and all that.
Yeah, and then we put him down at the end of the day. But, like, so no shade to our other vet. They were phenomenal, but they
Mhm.
cannot handle Gus.
Right.
This fucking dog, dude, he's gonna be the death of me. I'm love him dearly, but
But
I'm
he
hoping he
loves you
goes
so
I
much.
hope he goes
You
with
know what?
Morgan. She could take him with you. That's your dog. I will help you, but I don't want it. I love him, but, like,
You
he
know what
might
my
have too
vet
much anxiety for a dog like
Yeah.
that.
you know my vet had when we put Walty down, they had a jar of chocolate kisses that
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah.
"Goodbye kisses." I was
Yes.
So
like,
the
"Oh my
dogs
god,
can all
bring."
have chocolate once before
Yes.
they
Yes, before they although Oswald's had
Yes.
chocolate because he's
I
an
was like,
idiot like that,
Buddy
so
used to, like, get all the Easter baskets.
yes, yes. But
Stella
here, I'll
ate,
tell you
Halloween candy once,
Ugh,
wrapper and all. That was fun picking up the
gross.
yard for a week.
I'll
Gross.
bet.
She literally was pooping out wrappers.
Yeah, you're like,
Okay, so
"Great."
Cashmere used to eat, like, my tights and my underwear
Buddy used to eat socks like it was his
and
he'd take them off your
socks.
feet.
And, like, the same thing though, like, her poop would be all different colors, like, "Oh,
Mhm.
there's the foot of my tights," and
Yeah.
Uh,
Ryan used to, like, yell into the house. He'd be like, "Someone lost a pink sock." You're like, "Yeah." Because it would just pass right through Buddy, like, full. Like, you could, if you really wanted to, probably wash it and wear it.
Stella eats
Undigested.
Stella was I didn't talk much about Stella. She was a stray also, but she was a year and a half, we think, when we got her. And she scavenged a lot. I think she
Yeah,
was
like a
by
street
herself
dog.
for a long time. Yeah.
uh,
Because we've seen her like dig grubs out of the grass
oh,
and eat
Yeah,
them. So she'll eat literally shit and anything else in the yard. So
yeah.
recently, because she got sick again very recently, and I think it's because she ate rabbit turd or something in the yard.
ugh,
Yeah.
So we got her a muzzle. Yeah.
no,
She's so mad because she can't eat anything in the yard anymore.
Right.
oh,
But
no.
it makes her look like Hannibal Lecter. It has a strap that goes between her eyes, like, to the back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's really
Yes.
funny. So I'm like, "Here's me letting my dog out with her muzzle on." No, not because she's aggressive and bites, because she won't stop eating random things.
Right.
I gotta tell you guys a
Like
Earthworms,
the
bird
horses that have to
feathers,
they're
like
like feeders.
I gotta tell you
Yes.
guys a funny story about SFD. So when we got him, Kelsey was a baby, and she's 27 now. But she was a baby, and Jerry was working out of town most of the week. So I'm home alone with 2 kids. Oh, that perfect time to get a puppy. Yes, of
Yeah, of
course.
course.
I wasn't working at least, but so I did not like being at home by myself at night. I mean, I was fine
Mhm,
during the daytime. The kids and I were fine. I did not like being home alone. And I would stay up late and I'd watch stupid stuff on TV
mhm.
until I just couldn't keep my eyes open anymore.
Yeah.
So I let the dog out one night and he didn't come right back in. He was still a puppy at the time. So I'm like, and I didn't like opening the door because I was sure the boogeyman was going to come in through the door if I opened the
Mhm.
door. So I would like open the door crack and go like, "Kula, get in the house." And I could hear him barking, but he wouldn't come in the house. I'm like, "Kahlua, get in here, you stupid dog." He wouldn't come in the house. So I'd wait a little while, another 30 minutes, 45 minutes. "Kahlua, get in the house." Nothing. This went on for like 3 hours, right?
Oh my god.
And finally, I can't keep my eyes open anymore. And I'm like, so finally I put shoes on and go out in the backyard. The damn dog had tried to jump over one of the swings in the girls' swing set,
Oh, no.
and his belly, he was hanging. He could not get, like, if his back feet were on the ground, his front feet were up in the air.
But he couldn't get
And we couldn't get off.
And the
And
whole
you
time
left
he
him
was
out there for
barking.
3 hours.
The whole time he was barking, he was saying, "Help, Mom, I can't get."
And you were like, "Stupid fucking dog, get in here."
Oh, dogs. I love it.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh my god, it's one of my favorite dog stories to tell."
Gosh.
So anyhow, so that's the thing. That's
That's
what
funny.
dogs bring so much.
I mean, they just have crazy.
Yes,
Stella talks at the vet. Like, our vet is a friend of mine. She knows when I walk in the door. She goes, "I can hear Stella anywhere in the building."
Yeah.
If you're a pit bull person, pit bull mix, the
Yeah,
bully
vet
mixes, they
noise.
are
Yeah.
very vocal.
yeah,
Yeah.
She walks in and just starts whining
Yeah.
loudly. And last time I
Yeah.
had her there, another dog was also talking to her, and the two of them, I'm trying to pay, and they're talking to each other.
oh, that's so
And
cute.
everyone was laughing so hard because they would not stop. Neither dog. They just kept, like, you thought they were dying. They were just
Mhm.
Oswald had a milestone in his life. He would turned 4 in November, so he'll be going on. Oh my gosh,
Wow.
he's going on
Okay.
5. And his last visit, he did not pee on the scale. That was
Oh, he's growing up.
He is an excited peer, and, like, especially he loves my son-in-law, and when my son-in-law comes, I have to make sure that I take him out to pee first because otherwise he'll roll over on his back and there's, like, this fountain of
So
pee.
Buddy used to do that too.
Boy dogs. Boy
Yes.
dogs. I
That
don't
was
worry about
Buddy's
that with girl
MO.
dogs.
He would flip over, he'd get so excited, he'd roll on the ground, so you'd rub his belly, and he'd wait till you lean down to rub his belly, and then he'd pee.
And then he'd let it
Because he was
let
like,
loose.
"Yes, belly rubs." So I would have to
Mhm.
warn people, like, "He's gonna pee on
He's gonna
you.
pee. Be
Like,
careful.
please stop.
I was like and he's
Don't
so
do
funny,
it."
he's so smart because, like, I could say to him, "Is Caitlin at the door?" And he doesn't do anything. "Is Kelsey at the door?" He doesn't do anything. But if I say, "Is Irwin at the door?" He usually runs to the door because Irwin is his
Like, he
favorite.
loves
Yeah.
Irwin.
Yes. It's like 'cause Irwin plays hard with him, the rest of
Yeah,
us are
and they
like,
know that.
"Here,
Yep. Yep.
have a cookie," and Irwin's, like, riding him like a cowboy and
Yeah.
Mhm.
hiding his toy and
I love it.
Yeah.
yes,
How
so
about our next part here about what dogs teach us? Because that is what a lot of these stories were,
Yes.
things that were
Gus taught me that I should be medicated for anxiety because
Oswald
that's what
taught me
literally what prompted me to find a psychiatrist. I was like,
Mhm.
I can't do
I
this
can
anymore.
yeah.
I need
Yep.
medication.
Oswald taught me that he needs medication for anxiety.
Friend's dog is on
See, I
Prozac
already ha
because if
Yeah.
he's not on Prozac, he wants to kill other dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oswald would do the same. He just like from his very first vet visit, they told me he needs to be medicated, not because he's aggressive, but because he's scared. And
Mm.
so, like, and then when we board him, he's on a heavy dose of meds because otherwise he like chews on himself and stuff like
Hurts
that.
Oh,
So
himself
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, because he's very people oriented. But I mean, they teach us so much. They teach us. I don't know. It's like, no, it's so nice to know that you've always got a friend around,
Yeah.
it's like,
Mhm.
always got someone to talk to, even
Yep.
if they don't always talk back. And sometimes
Yep.
that's better because,
Yeah.
sometimes
You're
you're
like,
telling somebody something that's
uh-huh.
on your mind and they're trying
Mhm.
to fix it for you and you just
Yeah.
want to vent. You don't want somebody
Yeah.
to try and tell you
Yep.
what you did right or did
Just
wrong.
listen. Just
And
listen and give me
dogs
snuggles.
Right.
just
Yes.
listen. They just listen.
Yep.
They don't expect anything, So that's something I think they teach us is like friendship and
Mhm.
tolerance and how to just love somebody unconditionally. So,
Mhm.
I had down to like with my first dog. I mean, it's different now, but with Gabby, just helping you become an adult.
Mhm.
Like before you have children, before I had kids, I
Yeah.
had Gabby. And
Yeah.
so I was responsible for taking her to the vet, giving her meds,
right.
things like that. She was my most well-trained dog because
Time.
she was a Shar and I was warned. Like you
Yeah.
have
Mm.
an aggressive breed dog, you have to be if you don't raise her correctly. She bit
Yes.
me once. I have a scar on my lip. She bit me once because I got in her face. Because I used to
Yeah.
do that to her. I'm the alpha.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
I learned all these things. Like I would, if she started to get even a little bit tense, I would and she was like 50 pounds. She never had a lot of wrinkles. She like got too
Yeah.
tall. It was weird.
Okay.
She was
Yeah.
a tall Shar I would grab her and I would flip her on her back and I'd sit on her, like
Yeah.
sit over her because she needed to remember I was her alpha.
Mhm.
And then the aggression would go
Yeah.
away. She only bit me that one time and I was pushing her. Like I was in her face
Mhm.
and she was growling. I'm like, don't you dare. And she bit at my mom once when my dad had back surgery, but she went to like pull up his compression socks
Yeah.
and my dad like groaned in pain. And,
Mm.
Oh, okay.
dogs are very
Yeah.
sensitive to that. And
Yeah.
so she kind of lunged at my mom and then my dad yelled and then she backed off. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like it was you're hurting my people.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even though you're one of my people, you can't. So I learned a lot about dogs and I learned a lot about being an adult from her.
Mhm.
With our other dogs, with Alice and Stella, especially with Stella, especially right now, that tolerance and patience. I mean, she's getting
Mhm.
older. I've had her to the vet. She's going back to the vet Friday for another checkup. She's super allergic to everything. She
Yeah.
itches constantly. It's annoying, wakes us up in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
She, 2 weeks ago started peeing in the bed suddenly.
Mm.
No.
And that's fun. Instead of
Yeah.
but it's like you don't go, "Oh, I'm gonna get rid of this dog." It's like, what are we
Right.
gonna do
Like,
to
how do
fix
we fix
this?
this? Yeah.
How do we fix this? Dog diapers. I had her in a
Mhm.
dog diaper. We think it's because of a UTI,
Mm.
so we think we're out of the woods with it. But again, I feel like more with dogs, people can be more patient than you almost
Yeah.
are with your own children
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
you can't rationalize with a dog. Like your child, you
Right.
can be like, "We don't pee in the bed." But it's like a dog, you're kinda like, "What am I willing to do and what am I willing to go for
Mhm.
to make this dog comfortable?"
Yeah.
Um, we were looking at getting a golden retriever, and I'm just struggling with the purebred. I've always been a rescue person, and there's so many
We had
puppies. Like, there are
yeah.
litters of puppies that come into our rescues all the time that we would just have our
Goldens
pick.
have so much hair.
I
So much
know, I
hair.
know, I know.
I
My
had
husband grew up with a golden, so he really likes them. My girls want one, but I'm like, "I'm the one that vacuums."
Yeah. We had Buddy was purebred, but only because it was like it was an accidental litter from a
Yep,
coworker.
yep,
Like, so she owned both the mother and the
and the
father, and they
father,
were
yeah.
not supposed to be hooking up at that moment,
Well,
and they did. So she was like, her name was Megan, and I just remember she like walked into the library. She's like, "Mother of God, Brownie's pregnant again, and what am I gonna do with these babies? And like, they were not Charlie broken." Like, she was like losing her mind. I was like, wait, wait, wait. How much would you want for a chocolate lab
for a
puppy? Because we
chocolate,
had
yeah.
been thinking about getting a dog, and we told Morgan she had to like research. She was like 5 or 6. We were like, you have to figure out what breeds are good. And so we went to all sorts of like dog events, and she liked the labs, and we were like, that's a good family
Well,
dog. But we were
yeah,
looking for like a rescue,
yeah,
and she's like,
but
I'll give it to you for $500. We were like, done.
I'll say, but
Like,
in a way,
right.
that is a rescue,
It
like
is a rescue, but it was also like a purebred.
Right.
And then he was named Buddy Knuckles. So
Buddy
I think that
Knuckles.
was one of our talking points too, right? Was dog names.
Names,
Dog
how we named our
names.
dogs.
How we named our dogs.
Yeah, I said that Gabby was one I heard her full name was Gabrielle, Gabby Marie.
Yeah.
Because I was, I don't know, 20 and I liked the
Yeah.
name Gabrielle and I was dumb and I named my dog instead of my kid.
You were like, I would choose. Who knows when I'll have a
I know,
child?
I was like, great, now I can't use that name. Alice was Alice from Twilight and also Alice in Wonderland
yeah.
Mm.
and Alice in Chains. We kind of thought we had a whole list of things. Stella is the English teacher in me.
Mm-hmm.
When I yell for her outside, I want to go, Stella, Stella. But we call
Yeah.
her Stella Luna a lot.
Yeah.
Stella Luna from the cute
Yeah.
children's book about a bat.
Yes. I did not name any of my dogs. I was always like, I wanted the dog, so it was like a bargaining chip. Like, I need to be not afraid of a dog, and other
You
people
can
in my
name it
family
if you
were
let
not.
us do it. Yeah.
100%, because other people in the family either didn't want a dog or whatever. So my Chihuahua's name was JC Rex. JC after JC Chazet from NSYNC.
I knew. I was like, that sounds perfectly
and that was
funny.
you're a Backstreet Boys fan. Me, I was a Backstreet Boys fan. So my sister gave him a NSYNC name.
Yep.
And I was like, well, he can't just be JC. So we tagged a Rex on there to make him seem slightly cooler.
Slightly
So
cooler. Oh my
JC
gosh,
Rex.
I love it.
And then our Schnauzer, our mini Schnauzer, I picked up while Ryan was at work. We had talked about getting a dog, and then I went to look, which is famous last words from my family.
Famous last words. Yep.
And he was so cute, and he looked like he was wearing a tuxedo. So I showed up to Ryan's work to drop off dinner, and I go, and I got this for dessert. And I picked him up in the I was like, look at this. And he was like 8 weeks old. He was so little. But he looked like he was wearing a tuxedo. And I was like, you can name him. So his name was Mr. Bond, the secret agent pup.
That's funny.
Like, because Ryan's favorite movies are the James Bond movies.
Yep.
So he was James Bond, secret agent pup.
Mm-hmm.
And then Morgan named Buddy. She wanted to name him Princess Twinkle Toes.
As many
she was
young
little, right?
children
She's like
do.
6
Yep.
years old.
Yep.
But I was like, let's pick something else. So she named him Buddy, and we were like, he needs a middle name. So we named him, Ryan named him Knuckles. So Buddy Knuckles.
Buddy Knuckles.
I wanted to name him Moose, and that's what I called him, was Moose.
Moose Knuckles.
Mhm. Oh, I remember that.
Knuckles was not supposed to be in there. He was just supposed to be the moose.
Moose.
Because he looked like a moose. He was fucking
Yeah,
huge.
he was so big.
And then Gus came with his name. His name is Gazpacho.
Mm.
That's right.
And his brother's name is Garbanzo.
That's
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
So we just call him Gus.
Well,
Ugh.
for me, okay, so I had a dog named Kashmir with a K, and then I had Kevy with a K. And then when I met Jerry, he wanted a cat, and we got a cat, and we named her Kalamazoo because he was originally from Michigan.
That's a lot of
No,
K's in a
there was a
row.
lot of K's. So then Caitlin came along, and she was another K. Then when Kelsey was on her way, I was torn between the names Sierra and Kelsey for a girl. And Sierra would have started with a C, and my brother was like, you're not gonna name her a C name, it's gotta be a K
Gotta
name."
be a K name.
Gotta be
And I'm
K.
like, "Doesn't have to be." And I looked at her and I was like, "Oh, she's a Kelsey." There was no doubt in my mind she was a
Mhm.
Kelsey. So then when we got Kahlua, we were thinking of a K name, and why I named a dog Kahlua when I had 2 young children is beyond me, because I like my 2-year-old is going, "I love Kahlua," you know? I'm waiting for CPS, Child Protective Services, coming after me, like my 2-year-old talking about how much she loves Kahlua.
Oh my gosh.
But then we broke the K mold with Walter. I had
Yeah.
wanted to
Mhm.
name him Disney, and Kelsey thought that was the dumbest name ever. And she came up with a name with Walt. So his name was Walter Elias Disney Hipple. And then when Walty had cancer, I knew I was going to want another dog after he passed, and I said that my next dog was going to be Oswald,
Mhm.
after
Mhm.
Walt Disney's first successful cartoon character, Oswald the
Mhm.
Lucky Rabbit, because
Mhm.
I said my next dog had to honor Walt.
Mhm.
So that's how Oswald got his name. But we call him the demon more than anything
Would you
else.
do it? Would you go the Disney route, like, when you get another dog someday?
Probably. I mean, we had Simba and Nala at one point
That's
with our
true, yeah,
Oh,
your
yeah,
cats.
yeah,
cats
yeah.
were Simba and Nala.
I mean,
I know, I like, human names for my dogs, if you
yeah.
haven't noticed, and I like kinda older one like, I was already thinking for a puppy because I would prefer a female. I've just always had girl dogs.
Yeah.
I the name's Sally,
Well, that'd be
Oh,
cute.
you
cute.
know, because
Yeah.
I like, we've had Alice, we've had Stella,
Mhm.
Sally, our neighbor's dog, her name is Lola. And Lola and Alice were best friends, and so
Yeah.
when Alice died and we got Stella, we're like, "We need a name that goes with Lola."
Yeah.
One of my friends at work, he had a Stella, he had a Lola, he has an Edith or Edie.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Um,
I
now he
kinda
has
love those old names for dogs, I don't know
now
why.
now he has a Lucy. Yeah, so yeah, I think those names are cute.
I could do like, especially because I like pit mixes, I could do, like,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Eleanor. I think Eleanor would be
Yeah.
That'd
super
be
cute
cute.
for a
Yeah, yeah.
cute pit mix,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like and then so many nicknames that you come up with.
Mhm.
I mean, Stella is like Stella, Stella Luna, Stelly Belly, then we just call her Belly sometimes
Yeah.
because
I
Stelly
know. Oh, that's
Belly
that's
or
a good topic though too, like our
Stells.
nicknames.
Yeah.
Like
She
we call
stells a lot.
I
we
call
call
Gus Gusaroni, the San
Yeah.
Francisco treat.
Yeah.
we
That's you
call
And
started singing
sometimes
jingles with your dog, like,
Gustafer
you're like,
Robin. Like
"Gustafer
Christopher
Robin."
Robin.
I
Oz.
love that.
Oz was Oswaldian, Ozzy, Oz, the demon,
The
mostly the
demon.
Mhm.
demon. It was funny when we were in Victoria, British Columbia over spring break. We met a dog named Ozzy on the ferry, and the owner told us she calls him Oswald when he's bad. I'm like, that is so
That's our dog's
appropriate.
name.
So,
Okay.
I found a couple quotes, the ones that I remember really resonated with me and my favorite stories. The one, Lola, I don't even remember who wrote that one. Adriana Trigiani, the dad talking about, oh, who rescued who, one of those
Mhm.
things. And there was the daughter that said, Dad, you don't get it. My daughter helped Lola to the floor while Smokey looked down from her perch on my shoulder. This is when they introduced the dog to the cat.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so she's like, Smokey looked down from her perch on my shoulder. We're the lucky ones.
Mhm.
And so I think he had said something about like, oh, isn't this dog lucky? And she's like, no. And I thought, oh, that's so like from a kid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're the lucky ones. We get to have this dog.
Mhm.
And then my really, really favorite one, I really think was Max. And she was not cheeky. I should have wrote down who wrote Roxanne Gay
Mhm.
was the one where it was kind of like more her partner's dog,
Yeah.
she felt. But I loved at the very end, she said, maybe I'm not a dog person, but I am this dog's person. And
Mhm.
I was like, that that sums it up, even for people who
Yeah.
maybe aren't dog people, because she says flat out, I mean, kind of like you were, Kit, like I was attacked. I do not like dogs. And but somehow this dog weaseled its way in, and I'm his person, and I love that. And then Dottie was the first one that Emily Henry where she talks
That
about the
had me
dog dying.
crying, but
Yeah. But it was the whole, "We're so fucking lucky to get to love someone so much it tears a hole in the world when they're gone." And I was like, "Yep." So much so that we turn around and do it again.
I do it again,
yep.
knowing exactly how it's gonna play out
'Cause
eventually.
both
But it's
Gabby and Alice, when they
yeah,
died, like, I within a month, we were looking
yeah,
at dogs again. Like, there wasn't a lot
Like,
of waiting time.
my house was just so empty without a
Yep,
dog, you know?
yep.
Okay,
Especially as
so
we
the
get older and our children, I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I've got
I
one in
think
college, and
the
next
other one
year,
headed that
it'll just yeah, so
way.
it's like
Yeah. I think I had a hard time with this book for, like, remembering quotes and stuff because I
Mhm.
listened to it. I
I
don't
did the
think I
yeah,
same
would
thing.
just, like, generally speaking, I don't
yeah,
think I would do that again with one of our featured books because I found myself going, "Well, I wish I had notes," but
had notes
I
to
didn't have
mhm,
notes because I was listening to it on
mhm,
Audible.
mhm.
Because I was
And
like, I
and
know
it's
there were things as I was listening, I was like, "Oh, that's a good quote," but there's no,
Yeah,
like,
but
highlight.
not
There's
yeah,
no yeah.
yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
same thing for
yep,
me. Obviously, there wasn't much food, but that's right. There was oh, that's right. Amy Tan, she was
I
the
was
one who was the
cracking up
Right?
because
she showed
that
dogs.
was
Oh,
my thought was food. How are we gonna talk
Ugh,
about food with this book? And then she's like, I think her name was Lisa, always kept the dried liver treats in
so
her
gross.
mouth, so they were always moist, and I was like, "Ugh."
That's disgusting.
Yeah, because she had a show dog. They had a dog
right.
Yes.
that showed.
The place is a location, so, I love Bonnie Garmus's story about being an
Yes.
expat and
Mhm.
getting the Greyhound. Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard at that one, but it definitely wanted me to make me wanna be an expat in London myself, you know, as
Yeah,
many times I'd like to move to another country sometimes, and,
same, same.
I laughed at that story so much, and it was the way it was the book was put together to where I think it was Emily Henry and then Bonnie Garmus, so I was crying one day
And
over
then
Emily
Mhm.
Henry's
laughing the
dog
Yeah.
next, yep.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
laughing the next day, which was a nice balance that you got to see both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah. The other one that made me sad was and in a different way, the Nick Trout one. Nick Trout was a vet,
Uh-huh.
the one that with the big, German Shepherd
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that he did the knee replacement on, and then there was problems. Just his,
Oh, that's right, and the
it was
dog
a
was never the
different
same again.
it was a different kind of sadness, like, just
Yes,
because he
Yeah.
felt so responsible for not being able to fix the problem, and that dog was so important to the woman who owned it. So that was interesting too,
right,
because it wasn't a dog that he owned. It was a
right,
dog that he worked on as a vet. And then what was the
yeah.
one
Doesn't
that,
make you glad you're not a vet because you could imagine having that
yes.
responsibility on
Oh,
your shoulders.
Mhm.
what was the dog that, saw the ghost? They lived with the
Oh,
ghost in their house.
hold
They
on.
built a
What was the
house
name of
on
that
top
one?
of an area where there's a ghost, and the dog would see it,
Wait for
and the dog got caught in
it.
the elevator, or the ghost got caught in the elevator that they had installed for her elderly mother.
Yeah, hold on.
And the dog just sat and barked, and then they had the elevator guy fix it, and the doors opened, and the dog chased the ghost all the way out of the
Mhm.
house. Like,
Uh, it's the one by Isabella Allende.
Olivia, I'll say, was it the Olivia
Yeah,
dog?
yeah,
That's what I'm knowing I know them by their dog name, not the
yeah,
author
yeah.
name.
Well, in those notes that Marianne sent us, they don't have the dog names; they have the author
They have
names.
the author names, yeah. But I thought that was funny. I was like, "Oh my gosh." But that was
So,
one that I wanted more. I wanted
yeah,
more ghost stories and dogs. I wanted
as
more of
a
those.
well, I have one for you
Okay.
featuring Gus, but also not a ghost, but
Okay.
the children thought there was a ghost because they put Gus in his cage. Gus does tend to just stare in corners. He'll just like
Mhm, mhm.
but also I accidentally overdosed him on CBD. We were giving him too much, so for a little while he was just like super stoned.
Really, he
Cuz
was
that's
not
how
seeing ghosts, he was super high.
right. So he was getting like a certain amount of CBD a day, and then they
Mhm.
changed like the amount that was in the treats, and we're like, well, we could just it's still well below the recommended
Right, right.
dosage. So we were like, we'll just do that. And that should be fine. And it accumulated. And after like a week or two, I was like, there's something really wrong with the dog, blah, 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 blah. And then he was laying on the floor in Ryan's room, just staring at the closet. And I got home from work, and Ryan goes, I think he's fucking stoned. And I was like, oh, shit. And then the more we looked at it, we were like, yeah. So then we cut the dosage back down, and then he was fine. But he does sometimes just stare into space. But the kids were putting him in his kennel. He has a kennel that you could fit like 3 adult humans inside of because it was Buddy's kennel. And he gets like his puppy dog eyes and he'll be like, "Why are you here?"
I
And they heard someone say, "You're fine, Gus," but it wasn't them. And
Oh,
Gus like kind of looked at the wall.
no.
So, but here's the funny part. Our backyard neighbor's dog is also named Gus. So,
Oh,
Ah!
what's the chance of
So it
that?
probably was somebody saying, yeah.
about 3 weeks later, I had our Gus outside and their dogs were out. They have little dogs and they're barking at each other. And I'm like, Gus! Like, I'm like, Gus, get your ass over here. And I just hear the lady go, "You're fine, Gus," to like her dog. And I was like, oh my God,
Oh my gosh.
you're the ghost. But the kids were pretty convinced that there was
They
a
had the
ghost in our
ghost.
basement telling Gus that he would be fine. I
That's
think it was our
funny.
backyard
That's
neighbor.
funny.
Yeah.
I had
Not a ghost, but
I have a video somewhere. If I can find it, I will share it with you. Stella, she when she has her allergy flares up, sometimes it takes a little while for the meds to start working, and she'll just gnaw on herself, just itch, give herself hot spots.
Mhm.
So we put a cone of shame on her once sometimes, be like, just stop licking.
yeah.
She laid on the floor and just sighed for like 30 minutes. And the video is so funny. I put my phone like down on the floor with her. She would not make eye contact with me.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see her like making noises. You couldn't see anything like
Yeah.
her,
Because the
but you could
cone.
just hear her
Yeah.
just it's like moans and groans. And I took a video. I had to send it to my kids. I was like,
Yeah.
look at Stella. She thinks that she is.
When Buddy had his surgery and was wearing the cone of shame, Morgan used to flip words. So she told everyone that he was wearing the shame of cones.
Shame
So
of
that's what we call
cones.
it.
I
It's
love
the
it.
shame of
The
cones.
shame of cones. That's a good one. Anything else about this, or are we ready for some?
I think
It's
some
kind of
final
it's kind of an
thoughts.
unconventional podcast for us,
Yeah.
talking
Yes.
about something different. But yeah,
Yes.
final thoughts. Go ahead, Kit. You're up here
I
first.
did not like this book. Full stop. I
But
do
love
like talking
about
dogs.
our dogs.
I do. I do love talking about my own dogs. Just not the book for me. But again, I would recommend it to other people. I think it is a very good book. It's just not the
Yeah,
right book for me.
Yeah.
Which I do think, like, I've had this argument on TikTok over many, many things in fandoms where, like, people get really hard on the, like, but you should like it. And you're just like, not everything is for
It's just
everyone. And that's
not.
okay. And the same in reverse when people are like, that's horrible. It's not for you. Or the people who are like, will pick up an arc and be like, well, I don't like fantasy. And you're like, then this arc is not for you. So I think it's a situation of that less than a book being
Well, and
good in any good or bad.
sometimes timing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
maybe if you had read this book 5 years from now,
100%. Yeah.
you
could
might be in a
totally
different place
Yeah.
where you're like, I can do this. I can. Nothing.
Yeah.
Those things
It
aren't
could be a
bothering you.
different.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Because the things that bothered me about the book were like me things. They were
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the book. Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Sarah?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I didn't love it. Loved the bite-sized essays. It's been a while since I read a book just of essays, and I forget kind of how much I
That was me
like
dropping
them
my
in
phone.
terms of I can just read one. And it was nice. I read it this week when my students were reading in class, and I literally could get through one story in the amount of time that they had their independent reading time. So I didn't feel like I was like cutting off in the middle of something. It was like, oh, I'm done with the story. All right, we can be done. It took me 10 minutes or whatever to read it. So, and like I said, we are ready for another dog. So reading
Mhm.
about dogs is making me like maybe kind of want a puppy, but also
Yeah.
maybe be like, wait, no,
Yeah.
maybe not. So we'll see. We'll see what summer brings. Ma, how about you?
Oh, just remind me never to suggest a book again. And yet,
No
I did
suggesting
it.
sad books.
You suggested next month's book.
But to be fair, both of the books that I didn't like of
Right.
yours, I had the
Right.
exact same issue with.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's not like all the books you've suggested I didn't like. I
Correct.
didn't like the ones that were
Correct.
sad. Yeah.
And
Correct.
so yeah, but no, I liked the book. I just liked reading about other people's dogs and just like
Mhm.
reading about dogs in general. So
Yeah.
and I mean, there was enough of a balance to me of happy and sad that
Mhm.
it didn't really bring me down. It just made me love dogs more. So
Uh-huh.
so for me, I liked it a lot. I mean, was it my favorite book of the year? No, but I enjoyed it. So
Yeah, it's also fun just to read something different. Like I said, we
Yes,
don't do
exactly.
Yes.
a
We
ton of
don't do a lot of
nonfiction, and
essays.
it's nice to
Yeah.
and not just yeah, not just nonfiction, but the fact that it was essays is always
Mhm.
Mhm.
kind of nice. So,
Yeah.
all right, well, I think it is time now to reveal our featured book for May, which Marianne also picked, but
I
I have
I
higher
plead the
hopes for
fifth.
this
we
one for
are
me.
all looking forward to this one. But here's a few clues. Clue number 1: private island, a family that does not get along, and a week they're forced to spend together anyway. Ooh, family
Clue
drama.
number
Dun.
Clue number 2, an inheritance, but make it a game. Rules included. Emotional damage guaranteed.
Clue number 3. Long buried secrets, complicated siblings, and a storm or several rolling in. Drum roll, please. Our May book is These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean.
So that's it for now. Thank you to everyone for joining us. We talked about the best dog in the world, who is not Oswald.
It's my dog.
It's
It's my dog.
Definitely not my dog.
fight over it.
But if you enjoyed this episode, head to our profile, check out the other books we featured so far, including books like Just Our Luck, Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon, The Poppy Fields, and so many more. And if you're looking for book recommendations, each month we share what books we've read across every genre.
And are you ready to dive into the best dog in the world, essays on love? Or maybe you just suddenly feel like you need to hug your dog a little tighter or look at your camera roll, which is, 800 pictures of nearly identical photos,
Yep.
and emotionally prepare yourself for both joy and devastation. You're in luck because you can grab the best dog in the world, plus all of our past featured reads and some upcoming picks over on our bookshop.org storefront. And the bonus is that every single purchase supports independent bookstores, which we love almost as much as dogs who think they're people, essays that make us cry in public, and stories that remind us how much these chaotic little creatures shape our lives every day. The link to our shop is bookshop.org/shop/RETR-book club, or you can head to our website and click right on it. It's on our front page. Shop smart, shop indie, and read recklessly. And also give yourself and your dog an extra treat. You guys both deserve it.
Yes, exactly. And we've got something new, our RETR Substack. It's where we keep the conversation going with behind the scenes thoughts, bonus content, and all the things we didn't quite fit into the episodes. Don't forget to follow along, subscribe to the podcast, and leave us a review. We genuinely want to hear what you think. And yes, we will absolutely read it.
Mm-hmm.
And also let us know if there's any books we haven't yet talked about that you would love to see us cover in the book club, because we would like to be buried underneath a mountain of books when we die.
For
so
sure.
the more
For sure.
recommendations, the better.
Yep, exactly. So until next time, keep reading.
Keep exploring.
And don't forget to pack the snacks. Yay.
And the milk bones.
And the milk bone. That is Gus's favorite treat.
Unless they have chicken in them. Stella can't have anything with chicken.
No chicken.